Let me tell you something. When disrespect comes knocking at your door, you don't have to answer. You don't have to engage. You don't have to defend. You don't have to explain yourself to people who have already made up their minds about you. Some battles aren't yours to fight. Some words aren't meant for a response. Some moments require you to simply be still and let your silence do the talking. Silence is one of the most powerful responses you can give, yet so many people misunderstand it. We live in a world that tells us to clap back, to have the last word, to prove a point, but wisdom tells us something different. There is strength in silence. There is power in restraint. There is dignity in knowing when to walk away. Some people think staying quiet means you're weak, but in reality, it means you have control over yourself. And the person who has control over themselves cannot be controlled by others. See, when someone disrespects you, they're trying to pull you into a reaction. They want to shake you, get under your skin, make you prove something. But let me ask you this, who are you proving it to? To them? To yourself? To the people watching? A secure person doesn't need to prove anything. A strong person doesn't have to react to every insult. A person who knows their worth understands that words from people who don't value them hold no real weight. Look at the people who react the quickest, who always have to say something, who always feel the need to respond. Do they look strong to you? No, they look controlled by their emotions. They look unstable, easily moved, easily provoked. But the one who stays quiet, the one who doesn't react out of impulse, the one who refuses to let someone else dictate their behavior, that person is in control. That person holds power. That person is not weak, they are wise. Let me remind you, silence does not mean agreement. It does not mean you don't recognize the disrespect. It does not mean you are ignoring reality. What it means is that you refuse to let the actions of small-minded people shift your focus. You refuse to step down from the level God placed you on just to engage in meaningless battles. You refuse to give your energy to something that doesn't serve your purpose. Because the moment you react, the moment you argue back, the moment you engage, you are now on their level. And some levels are beneath you. Some battles are not worth your energy. Some words do not deserve a response. Think about it. Has arguing with a fool ever changed a fool's mind? Has responding to disrespect ever made a disrespectful person respect you? No, because people don't disrespect you based on who you are. They disrespect you based on who they are. And that's why silence is strength. It removes you from the game they're trying to play. It lets them fight a battle alone. It leaves them confused, frustrated, and powerless because they expected a reaction and didn't get one. There is strength in holding your peace. There is strength in knowing who you are so deeply that no one's words can shake you. There is strength in silence because silence says, I know my worth and you don't have the power to take me out of character. And that is a strength that cannot be broken. Disrespect has a way of feeling personal, but the truth is, it says more about the person giving it than the person receiving it. When someone speaks against you, when they belittle you, when they try to tear you down, it is not a reflection of your worth. It is a reflection of their character. Hurt people hurt people. Bitter people spread bitterness. Insecure people project their insecurities onto others. What comes out of a person's mouth is a direct product of what is inside their heart. See, some people walk around carrying wounds they never healed from, and instead of dealing with their own pain, they try to pass it on to others. They lash out because it's easier to attack someone else than to face what's broken in themselves. Their disrespect is not about you, it's about them. Their anger is not about you, it's about the storm they never calmed inside. When you understand this, you stop taking their words so personally. You stop letting their negativity seep into your spirit You stop letting their opinions define how you see yourself. A person at peace doesn't go around starting wars. A person who is confident in themselves doesn't need to tear others down. A person who is secure in their identity doesn't have to insult or belittle someone else to feel important. So when someone disrespects you, recognize that it's not about your value, it's about their void. They are speaking from a place of lack, a place of frustration, a place of brokenness. Their words reveal what's inside them, not who you are. That's why you don't have to defend yourself every time someone disrespects you. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to explain yourself to people who are committed to misunderstanding you. Because at the end of the day, their behavior exposes their character, not yours. The way they treat you is not a reflection of you. It's a reflection of how they see the world, how they see themselves, and what's happening in their own hearts. So don't let someone else's darkness dim your light. Don't let someone's brokenness make you feel small. Don't let someone's disrespect pull you out of character. If they are committed to being bitter, let them be bitter alone. If they are determined to spread negativity, don't give them space in your spirit. Keep walking, keep your peace, keep your dignity intact, because how they treat you is their choice, but how you respond is yours. At the end of the day, people will reveal who they are, and it is not your job to fix them, to change them, or to make them see your worth. Your job is to continue being who you are, to stay focused on your purpose, and to refuse to let someone else's issues define you. Their disrespect is a mirror reflecting their struggles, not a measure of your value. When you know who you are, no one's words can take that away from you. Your energy is one of the most valuable things you possess. It is a limited resource that should not be squandered on things, people, or situations that drain you. Every moment you spend in anger, frustration, or unnecessary conflict is a moment you can never get back. And when you engage in negativity, when you allow yourself to be consumed by disrespect or pettiness, you are wasting your most precious commodity. The energy you give out is the energy you bring back. And if you're constantly pouring your energy into things that don't serve your purpose, you're robbing yourself of the very strength you need to grow, thrive, and elevate. Think about it. How many times have you found yourself arguing with someone who has no intention of understanding you? How many times have you tried to explain yourself to someone who wasn't listening? That's energy wasted. That's energy poured into a bottomless pit. And when you give your energy to things that don't deserve it, you're left feeling depleted, drained, and stuck. You must understand that not every situation needs your energy. Not every disagreement is worth your time. Not every person deserves access to your peace. Sometimes the best thing you can do is walk away, silence your voice, and preserve your strength for what truly matters. You don't need to defend yourself against every insult. You don't need to engage in every argument. You don't need to waste your energy trying to convince people who aren't ready to hear you. The world is full of distractions. People who try to pull you into their drama, situations that try to rob you of your peace, and forces that want to keep you from your purpose. But you must recognize that every time you engage with negativity, you are choosing to pour your energy into something that doesn't help you grow. It is a choice to participate in your own depletion. And you cannot afford to keep depleting yourself, not when the world needs the best version of you, not when your purpose is too important to waste. Energy is not just physical, it is emotional, mental, and spiritual. It's your drive, your peace of mind, your ability to focus, and your willpower to keep pushing forward. And once it's gone, it's hard to get it back. You cannot keep giving yourself to people who do not value you, to situations that do not nourish you, or to conflicts that do not serve your growth. You must become intentional about where you place your energy. Your energy is too precious to waste on things that do not align with your purpose. Guard it fiercely, protect it fiercely. When someone tries to pull you into a negative space, learn to walk away. When a situation tries to steal your peace, choose silence over engagement. When the world tries to distract you from your calling, stay focused on your path. Your energy is the fuel that will take you to the next level. Don't waste it. Don't squander it. Don't give it away freely to things that will not bring you closer to where you are supposed to be. You are worth the energy you invest in yourself. There are moments in life when it feels like the weight of the world is pressing down on you. When the battles feel relentless and the obstacles feel insurmountable, you find yourself trying to handle everything, carrying the load on your own, thinking that if you don't fight for yourself, no one else will. But here's the truth. There are battles that are not yours to fight. There are struggles you don't have to face alone. And most importantly, God is in the business of fighting battles on your behalf. You see, God is not a passive observer in your life. He is an active participant. He knows every struggle, every trial, every setback you face. And while it's easy to feel overwhelmed and think that you have to fight every battle on your own, the truth is that God has already equipped you with everything you need to overcome, whether that means fighting with you, fighting for you, or sometimes stepping in to fight the battles you didn't even know were coming. We often get caught up in the idea that we must do everything ourselves, that we must solve every problem, prove every point, win every argument. We try to take matters into our own hands, believing that our strength alone will carry us through. But God reminds us that He is our strength. When we lean on our own understanding, we limit ourselves. When we fight the battles on our own, we exhaust ourselves. But when we trust God to fight for us, we experience a peace that transcends understanding. There are times when God will fight battles you never even saw coming. There are times when God will step in and handle things that you could never manage on your own. And that doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means that you trust God to do what you cannot do. It means you take your hands off the situation, release it into His care, and watch as He moves in ways you never expected. You don't have to fight every battle. You don't have to respond to every insult, to every challenge, to every problem that comes your way. There are times when silence is your strongest weapon because God is already working behind the scenes. He's already moving, shifting things in your favor, positioning you for victory. All you have to do is trust that He is doing His part even when you can't see it. Remember, God is not limited by time or circumstances. He sees the bigger picture when you can only see what's in front of you. He knows the outcome before you even begin. So when it feels like you're fighting a losing battle, remember that God has already won. When it feels like the odds are stacked against you, remember that God fights battles you don't have to. You don't need to strive or struggle to achieve victory. All you need to do is trust that God will step in at the right moment and handle it in His perfect timing. You don't have to carry the burden of every battle. Let God take the weight off your shoulders. Let Him fight for you. Let Him handle the situations that are beyond your control. Because when God fights your battles, victory is already guaranteed. Maturity is often misunderstood in the world we live in. People often associate it with age or experience, thinking that growing older automatically equates to growing wiser. But true maturity is not simply about the number of years you've lived or the experiences you've collected. Maturity is measured by restraint, the ability to hold back, to control your impulses, to make wise decisions when your emotions want to drive you in a different direction. Restraint is one of the greatest indicators of emotional intelligence. It's the ability to pause before reacting, to take a step back before making decisions, to think before you speak. It's easy to be reactive. It's easy to let your anger or frustration drive your actions. But the truly mature person knows that reacting out of emotion rarely leads to the best outcome. They understand that taking the time to process, to reflect, to wait for the right moment is what ultimately leads to growth and success. When someone wrongs you, the urge to lash out is strong. When you're hurt, you feel justified in reacting, but restraint says, I am bigger than this moment. I don't have to react in the heat of the moment to prove my worth. I don't have to respond to every provocation. I will not let my emotions dictate my actions. This is maturity. The mature person is not driven by every impulse or feeling. They understand that their actions have consequences and they choose wisely. Restraint is not about suppressing your emotions. It's about having the wisdom to express them in the right way at the right time to the right people. It's about knowing that some battles are better fought internally rather than externally. It's about understanding that there's power in holding your tongue when every part of you wants to speak. The immature person might speak without thinking, act without considering the repercussions, and react out of hurt. But the mature person understands the importance of controlling their responses, especially in moments of conflict. There's an old saying that goes, you can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. And this is the essence of maturity. The world will continue to throw challenges at you. People will continue to disappoint you. Situations will arise that will test your patience and your peace. But the true measure of maturity is not in how you react when everything is going your way, but in how you respond when things don't go the way you expect. Choosing restraint is not about being passive or weak. It's about being strong enough to choose the high road. It's about taking control over your impulses, your desires, and your emotions, and using them to fuel your growth rather than your destruction. True strength is in holding back when everything inside you tells you to let go. It's in knowing when to speak and when to remain silent. It's in understanding that maturity isn't just about how you handle success, but how you manage adversity, how you process pain, and how you navigate life's challenges with grace and wisdom.